My top five Chicago NBA players of all time. Now, Chicago is like a really, really, really great city when it comes. It's a lot of legends out in Chicago. But starting out, D Rose, Derrick Rose, man, watch him since Simeon in high school. You know, his AAU days when he was playing with Mean Streets with Eric Gordon. I was watching him since then, and I was like, yo, this guy's dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like this dude's different. Like and this was that time with Deep Derrick Rose, OJ Mayo, Mike Beasley, um, James Harden. You know, they was all in that class. So I think with D Rose, he was a guy that um, just dynamic, athleticism, just off the charts. Um, handle the explosiveness was just crazy. Um, you know, he improved his jumper, over throughout his career. Just unfortunate with the injuries that you know slowed he became not as dynamic in terms of athleticism and stuff like that due to the injuries. But you gotta, to me, um, applaud his resiliency, his ability to continue to rehab and get back up. I mean, it was like 3 years straight he had like season-ending injuries. I mean, 3 years, like I want to say like 3 years straight. 3 years straight he had season-ending injuries, and he was able to bounce back each and every time, and still have a formidable career afterwards. But obviously, Chicago D Rose was different. Anybody who in the league at that time, and there was speak on D Rose, it was like he was unguardable, couldn't mess with him. You know, even like right now, like if D Rose would have managed to stay healthy throughout his career, I don't think he would have turned out to be that like the best point guard of this generation. Period. I really believe so. Um, Maybe Steph might have something to say about that, but I don't think Steph could mess with it. Like how dynamic of a player D Rose was in his prime was just next level. Like, cause he had the athleticism, he had the strength, he had he could get to the bucket, he could mid range was on point. You know, the jumper was improving, the 3-point ball was improving. So it was nothing you could do with him at all. You couldn't do nothing with D Rose in his prime. So um, just D Rose, you know, he's in there. Then Isaiah Thomas, the Detroit legend, but he's native from Chicago. You already know, 2-time NBA champ. Pretty much the leader of those teams. Um, I think 10+ All Stars. He was the greatest. He was the best point guard of his time, between him and Magic. You know what I'm saying? Um, just super skilled, had to handle, um, and had that toughness. You know what I'm saying? I remember I used to watch the NBA playbacks, and it would show him when he I think he got injured with his leg, and he still came out, played, and balled on guys. Like, he was still balling. So Isaiah Thomas and AD Anthony Davis, um, you know, did his thing in Kentucky. You know, at first I wasn't too like, is he really that this dynamic guy that they say he is? And he sure did turn out to be that. Um, Dynamic scorer, can score all over the floor. Um, his game is it's like KD, but more of a post player in a sense, like 'cause he could shoot the three, he could, mid range, he has the post up game, um, and then defensively, then what really makes AD such a dynamic guy is his defensive prowessness, like the blocks, the rim protection that he provides. Um, AD's just a super dynamic guy. Then I gotta go D Wade, Dwayne Wade, um, you know, Mr. Miami, um, you know, was a 3-time NBA champ, uh, 10 plus All Stars, um, you know, in his prime, couldn't mess with him. D Wade could get to the rim at will, split double teams, split picks. Nobody could split picks better than him. Maybe Manu, what I'm saying? Manu Ginobili has something to say about that, but um, you know, just he could split those double teams with ease. Um, had the mid range work, facilitate. Um, had that toughness, had that will to win. Like he was a winner. D Wade is a winner, true winner, and I always admired his game and just him as a person as well. And then lastly, Kevin Garnett um, went straight from high school, probably to date the greatest Timberwolf of all time. He won an MVP over there. Ended up coming to Boston, winning an NBA championship. Um, kind of one of the first bigs that could put it on the floor. You know what I'm saying? He could handle, put it on the floor, you know, um, get his own shot, facilitate, a bit. And then, of course, he had the post-up game. Post game was A1, could rebound, defend, all of that. And I just love KG's energy, his personality, his that, his quote unquote dog, just the way he talks. I'm a big fan of his podcast, Ticket and Truth, where they talk like, guys do at the park. And I can relate to that because that's, I grew up mainly that playing at the park pickup. You know what I'm saying? I played, I did some organized ball. You know what I'm saying? I should have, played more consistent, especially with the AAU and stuff. But I primarily played at the park, at the recs and pickups, and so I relate to that game a little bit more than the quote unquote organized game. Even though there's some similarities and things of that nature, but just how guys talk and stuff like that. Like I really relate to how KG, sees the game and his perspective. So yeah, that rounds out my top 5. Then I got some honorable mentions. Tim Hardaway, Hall of Famer. Uh, that cross up, that between cross, a marquee, a staple move of his, that was just deadly. Don't think there's anybody who could do it better. Then I got to go Pat Bev, great defender, guy with great energy, he didn't, Pat Bev, he was like a 30-point, like a dynamic scorer. And then, in high school, and then, kind of adjusted his game when he got to the pros. But yeah, Pat Bev is nice, man. Tony Allen, another guy who turned out to be a great defender in the league, notoriously known as the hardest defender to be guarded by Kobe Bryant, the great Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to Kobe. So yeah, that rounds out my honorable mention list.